Hey there, friends. According to what everybody else says we should be doing tomorrow is Super Bowl Sunday, right? Yeah, a lot of you are probably like me. You don't care. However, I do care what those organizations are trying to do to my Second Amendment rights and yours. First, guys, go check out my friends over at CMMG, cmmg.com. These guys walk the walk. They don't just talk the talk whenever it comes to any kind of Second Amendment support. These guys are very active in the community as far as putting their money where their mouth is. Not only that, they make great firearms too. You can get your selection of calibers, Cerakote finishes, different types of action. One of the cool things about it is you also have a feature where you don't have to pay full price now. You can pay in payment plans. This is a pretty cool feature. Allows you to save a little bit of money now, keep some money in your pocket, and pay over the course of time. I recommend taking a look at this if it's something that fits your needs. Go to cmmg.com, use my discount code FTATF. Again, my discount code is FTATF. Receive 10% off your purchase at cmmg.com. Many thanks to Gun Owners of America and, of course, Aiden Johnston, who forwarded this to some of us. This is a letter that GOA unearthed that is going to some of the, quote, leaders in Congress: Charles Schumer, Mitch McConnell, Mike Johnson, and Hakeem Jeffries. This is a letter penned by the NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, NCAA, NASCAR, Major League Soccer, and the NBA. This is put together by all of their different security leadership, if you will. Let me read what it says. Dear Majority Leader Schumer, Johnson, McConnell, Jeffries, we write to express our strong support for reauthorization of the Undetectable Firearms Act, which is set to expire on February 2nd, 2024. UFA has helped keep Americans safe in public spaces that utilize metal detection to prevent the admittance of firearms, including at thousands of events that our organization hosts each year. Now, I want to mention that this has been pushed into March, so that's why the dates don't correspond right here. But this letter was just unearthed by Gun Owners of America this past week, towards the end of the week. Let me finish reading the letter and then we'll talk about some of the misinformation in here. The safety of the millions of fans, participants, and other personnel who attend our events is our top priority. No, it's not. Money is. Our organizations work in close coordination with federal, state, and local law enforcement and rely on advanced security procedures, including metal detector screening, to ensure the safety of our events. Allowing the UFA to sunset would hinder our ability to prevent firearms from entering stadiums and arenas and reduce the fan safety measures in place at our events. Both parties in Congress have long recognized the importance and effectiveness of the UFA, as the law has been reauthorized on a bipartisan basis 3 times in its 35-year existence. We urge you to reauthorize this critical law so that our organization can continue to keep our fans safe. First of all, let me point out the first bit of misinformation, where it states the UFA has helped keep Americans safe in public spaces that utilize metal detection to prevent the admittance of firearms, including at the thousands of events that our organizations host each year. That is a lie. In over 30 years that this law has been in existence, not one person has been prosecuted as a result of this law. Did you hear what I said? These people are claiming that this law has kept people safe. Not one person has ever, like in the history of ever, nobody has ever been prosecuted as a result of this silly little law. And you might remember that some of this silliness began. You know, we have a lot of ignorant people that are not gun people, but they listen to stupidity whenever it's regurgitated. Remember how Die Hard talked about the Glock back then and how it was invisible to metal detectors? I'm not joking when I say that. This is what predicated a lot of this, because it had people literally believing what a fictional movie, not a documentary, cool movie, great movie, not a documentary.
That punk pulled a Glock 7 on me. You know what that is? It's a porcelain gun made in Germany. Doesn't show up on your airport x-ray machines here, and it costs more than you make in a month.
A lot of people believed that the Glock was fully undetectable, so they get it wrong. Now, granted, you can 3D print parts. In many cases, that would be undetectable. Undetectable if a metal detector was reading it. When's the last time you went through TSA? Everybody has this same technology. This is not groundbreaking technology. In fact, nothing the TSA does is groundbreaking. Maybe the anal cavity search is a little unsettling, but not groundbreaking. When you go through the TSA, when they bombard you with all the nuclear stuff that they're hitting you with in this little image scanner, have you ever seen the pictures that go through there? Have you ever looked at the pictures when your bags go through? I actually had a credit card one time set off this thing and had them pat me down as a result of it. I had them pat me down as a result of my hoodie having a couple of layers of fabric overlapping itself, so it gave a dark image. There was nothing there. It was like 3 or 4 layers of padding that had just overlapped with fabric. This stuff does not have to be metal that it picks up. It picks money. It'll pick up money in your pocket, a pencil, an ink pen. It doesn't have to have metal in it. It's going to pick it up. And when I say pick it up, it's not just some kind of little oddball shading that it shows. It's pretty obvious what it's looking at. So even if you were to 3D print anything, it will show up in today's modern technology. Now, if you want to go back to 1980, when most of these scanners did just try to detect metal. In other words, it wasn't getting an actual picture of you. It was scanning and trying to get some kind of a signal back that metal was detected somewhere. That's really not what they use. There are some wanding efforts that are being used with wands. But you know what? All of these sports organizations right here, the gazillions of dollars that they make. I think I heard Super Bowl tickets were going for upwards to $8,000 for your entry-level tickets. I'm not talking about suite tickets. Those are hundreds of thousands of dollars. $8,000 for an entry-level ticket to the Super Bowl. Maybe you could afford something besides a wand. Maybe don't put quite so much money in your pocket. Maybe quit worrying about laws that are ineffective and actually don't work and have never prosecuted anybody, and look at actual safety. Do you follow what I'm saying? Maybe don't have this pie in the sky that if somebody passes a new law, that's going to make you safe. Maybe put measures in place that actually keep you safe. Maybe this is a signal for you guys to take a really hard look at your own security system to realize that possibly it needs to be updated. Maybe you have to spend some of that money that you've been pocketing for all these years from the American people. Now, again, I want to point to where they talk about this must be their wanding, where it says that they work in close coordination with federal, state, and local law enforcement and rely on advanced security procedures, including metal detector screening. There is nothing advanced about metal detector screening. That is old technology. If you truly are implementing advanced security procedures, it is not metal detection. I can assure you of that. Metal detection is old technology, not advanced technology. So if you're using advanced technology, it's not looking for metal. It's looking for anything. Furthermore, allowing the UFA to sunset would hinder our ability to prevent firearms from entering stadiums and arenas and reduce the fan safety measures in place at our events. That is an outright lie. That is a provable lie. That is an in-your-face, thumb in your eyeball, middle finger in your face lie. These people are lying. Everybody who signed their name to this is an absolute liar for letting their name be on this letter with that statement being in there. Allowing the UFA to sunset would hinder our ability to prevent firearms from entering stadiums and arenas and reduce the fan safety measures in place. When you are begging the powers that be to re-implement a law that has had zero impact on the public, and you act like in wording that law, if it's allowed to sunset, is somehow not going to allow you to do your job, you are no better than the political liars in Washington, D.C. that lie every single day to try to get various bills passed using trickery to trick the American people. This was a lie. And I'm really surprised that I understand the other sentences that they put in here that were incorrect, but this particular sentence probably enraged me the most because it's just an outright lie. The other ones are bending of the truth. This is a complete and total lie. Now, the irony of all of this is not lost on me. Let's pick the two main ones, the two biggest ones. The two biggest breadwinners in all of this is the NBA and the NFL, of course. Major League Baseball, to a certain degree also. Yeah, let's include MLB also. But MLB doesn't have the crimes statistics that our friends in the NFL, in the NBA have. I wonder if women would be safer, because remember, the war on women. I wonder if women would be safer if the NBA and the NFL worried more about the players beating the brakes off of their wives and girlfriends rather than some fictitious law that has not had any impact on the American public ever. Maybe we could look at that. Maybe we could look at the crime. Maybe we could look at the drug crimes. Hey, you know what? Here's an idea. Maybe we could look at the gun crimes that the NBA players and NFL players are committing. Maybe that's a start. Are you really worried about, quote, gun violence? Is that really what worries you? You know what? Your own locker rooms are probably the least safe place in these entire arenas whenever you have a game. Because the people are law-abiding citizens coming and going into the arena, and the only ones who might be coming in with a gun are probably really good people that are there to protect themselves and their families, even though they're breaking your little law here. Check your locker rooms. Your locker rooms may have a little bit more of that element that you're looking for that might actually pop off and get somebody shot at one of your events. And lastly, I just have to throw kind of a personal experience in there. NASCAR. What is up with NASCAR? NASCAR, when you go as woke as NASCAR has gone, knowing what their fan base, presumably, let's just say that, has consisted of since the dawn of the NASCAR organization back in the day, right? I'm not talking about race. I'm talking about a conservative group of people. I'm talking about people who are very, very pro-Second Amendment. I get that you want the blue-haired wackos to start following you. I get that. I get that you're trying to appeal to other minorities and other groups that might not normally in the past have followed you guys. Whenever you completely shift your focus away from 90% of the people who are paying your bills and focus only on that 10% that really aren't paying your bills, but make you feel good about yourself, at least in the DEI space that everybody else is trying to force themselves into these days. When you spend more time focusing on that 10%, did it ever occur to you that some of that 90% might be bailing out on you? Did you ever think about that? That's like bringing your girlfriend and your girlfriend to the dance. One of them's not going to be real happy. So if you got your main girlfriend and she's stuck with you all this time, and suddenly you have this other chick that you want to bring to the dance with you guys, and you spend more time with her, the old girlfriend is probably going to find somebody else to hang out with. NASCAR, can you Bud Light yourself any faster than what you're doing right now? You did it a couple of years ago with the whole Jussie Smollett thing where Bubba Wallace faked a noose when it was a rope on a garage door. It's not unusual to have a rope on a garage door. It's more unusual when you don't have a rope to pull a garage door down. But yeah, that was a noose, right? It was a noose. You guys almost completely tanked your entire organization back then. I used to follow NASCAR. When they changed their rules, now everything should have an asterisk next to it because it's not like it used to. I don't watch it anymore because it's not the same. I'm one of those people who left you a long time ago, probably in the mid to late 90s. You guys are doing your best to get people to leave. Do you not realize that so many people are still going to see NASCAR as a bunch of hillbilly rednecks? If you're trying to appeal to that inclusive crowd out there, this is probably not the space to do it because people are still going to associate you for a very long time to come with that. Adding your name to this list did not make you a cool kid. It's probably going to make you a poor kid.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America.
He's over!